All right, collectively, are we okay? I feel like we're not okay. I feel like there is so much stress and anxiety and depression and a lot of other mental and emotional aspects kicking up right now that we need to talk about some solutions for. So, I wanted to dive into this video with talking about journaling and how it can really help during these stressful times. So, let's dive in. What you're going to need is to get yourself a little notebook or just a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy, but we need something to write in. And let's talk about why, because we're not talking about Dear Diary and, the images you may have had about journaling that you had when maybe you were a kid. We're talking about using journaling as a way to, one, bring more awareness to some of the thoughts you've been having and that you've been playing over and over again that you may not actually realize that you've been doing. And then once we bring that awareness, this journaling can become a bridge to help you make some changes to, your thoughts and your behaviors. So one of the reasons that I really like journaling is that it can, like I said, bring up that awareness that we may not have in our day in and day out. And it gives us space as we're writing and actually putting pen to paper. It gives us that space to actually write out our thoughts. And as we do that, a lot of times more things will come up. Things will come up, things will come out, and it's great to just write them down. It doesn't even have to necessarily be legible. This doesn't have to be something that you have to go back and read again and again, because the idea is not to ruminate on it. The idea is just almost like a brain dump or an emotional dump, to really just let it go, let it flow, get all those thoughts out, write them down. And then as you're doing that, your brain, your body, your emotions, your physical and mental body and emotional body are actually processing this. And that is kind of a lot of times where the magic is that there's not a lot you have to do, but you do have to kind of acknowledge what's going on and give yourself the space or the time and the freedom to actually just clear it from your system. And a lot of times what you find if you're doing this consistently is that you may start to recognize some patterns that come up. You'll start to realize some triggers that you have. Every time, you go into the office, X happens or Y happens, and you start to realize how you're responding to things. Now, again, this needs to be like a consistent practice. And I'm not saying you need to spend an hour each day making a novel. No, just 5-10 minutes a day can be really helpful, because when you start to notice those patterns and maybe those triggers that you have, again, this is that awareness piece. You're able to really bring light to some of your emotions and some of your behaviors. And that really is the first step to starting to make change at some point. Some really interesting things that I notice with patients and with clients once they start to do this is that not only do they recognize patterns, but a lot of times they start to recognize that they're a little bit more deep-seated, these patterns or these emotions. Sometimes they can come from childhood issues or childhood trauma, childhood patterns or childhood habits or things that have happened to us. It doesn't have to be like a devastating trauma. It could just be something that you thought at the time was small, or maybe you didn't know how to process, and you've carried it with you all this time, and maybe you didn't realize it. But this habit of journaling can help to bring that up, bring it to the surface so you can look at it with a level head and clear eyes, and then let it go. Process it and let it move through so that you have less feelings of anxiety, less feelings of frustration, more feelings of, good thoughts that you want to be thinking that lead to the patterns and behaviors that you want to have. Life is stressful enough without us carrying all the emotional and mental baggage that a lot of us are carrying. And when times get uncertain, as they are right now, or when things get really stressful, this is when all that starts to come to a head. So this is a great way to really kind of sit and work with that as well. One thing that I personally have noticed from journaling, and this is a practice that I try to do it every day, at least 5 minutes a day. A lot of times it can lead to a little bit longer, and I'll show you some of the things that I do as well. But another thing that starts to unlock is you start to connect to what I call your higher self, and you open up some space and awareness for your own inner intuition. A lot of times, again, when we're having anxiety and having frustration, having depression, or having just a lot of emotional overwhelm, we lose that connection to ourself, and we lose that connection to our higher self. Our higher self is, I personally believe, that piece of us that is connected to the divine, that piece of us that is connected to source, that has the answers, that knows what to do, that knows what we need. And a lot of times we lose that connection, when crap gets crazy, we sometimes don't trust ourselves. Or if we are replaying mistakes we've made in the past over and over, we don't trust ourselves, and maybe we're afraid to move forward, and then that can build more and more anxiety. So journaling for me has been one of those things that has really unlocked that path to reconnecting back to my own inner self, my higher self, that place where I have the knowledge and the intuition to do whatever it is that's going to bring me more joy, that's going to be the right choice to make, or to move forward with more intentionality and more purpose. So journaling, again, multiple aspects of why it's good. I just wanted to share a few of them, some few insights that have come through, not only for myself, but with my patients and my clients. So a really powerful practice, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. There are many methods for journaling, right? I think I even have a video about a gratitude practice and journaling for that. That's just one way to do things. What I tend to think, and how I kind of work through it, is that I tend to think of it as a bunch of different options. And some options may be a gratitude practice, right? So you can journal out, 10 things that you're grateful for, or journal out one thing and set a timer and just write about all the different ways that thing affects your life, right? So gratitude journaling is one way. And this can really shift when you're in a negative space, or you're feeling like, I don't have this thing, and you're really wanting it, whether it's the relationship, the money, the job, whatever. Writing it out and being grateful for what you do have often opens up for you to receive more things in the future, or opens up that more positive way of thinking, which oftentimes allows you to find a way to get to the thing that you do desire. I don't know how it works. I won't say it's magic, but I think helps you shift your perspective so that you can be more proactive in problem solving. And then when that happens, solutions come to you, and you find a way to really work through things. You can use gratitude. You can journal about your day, just letting about how you felt during the day. If something triggered you, what did you notice about yourself during the day? You could journal about how you want to feel. You can journal about how you, in an ideal day, how do you want to feel, how you want to be, how you want to act, what do you want to do. You can journal in that way, and that's a more goal-oriented way, or a more change in behavior, change in thought sort of way. You can use a journal that has prompts already in it. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, a lot of times we get stuck. I know a lot of my clients or patients will say, well, I don't know what to write about. Well, it doesn't really matter. You just need to start. And for some people, using a journal can be a great way to do that. Another thing that I like to do is actually use either affirmation cards or oracle cards to just kind of, check in with myself and say, hey, what's going on? And I'll have a pack here. Any cards that appeal to you. They can be angel cards. They can be oracle cards. They can be tarot cards. I don't care. It's just something that's going to bring something up and prompt something for you. So you could just kind of ask yourself, what do I need to know for today? Or what would be for my highest good today? And, you could just pick a card. So this one says listening. So you could look at the image of the card. You could look at the words on the card, if they have words, and just start writing about that. Ask yourself, what do I need to listen to in life? What do I need to be more aware of? What am I not hearing? Is it my partner? Is it these intuitive nudges from the divine, from the universe? Do I need to listen to myself more? Do you see how this can now prompt a whole inner dialogue for you, and it can help you process whatever is going on in your life at the time? So one of the things that I've done with cards is to actually keep a digital journal of them. I'll journal, take a picture of the card that I picked for the day, and I'll put it in my iPad, and then I'll journal out next to it, and then I'll keep it from week to week, and I can look back on, what themes came up for the week. What do I need to be working on, or what went really well? Sometimes if you get a positive message, or if you have something positive come through, reminding yourself of that, it helps you to trust yourself a little bit more and trust in your own intuition as well. And in that same way of just, journaling about your thoughts and feelings, it can help you recognize some patterns in your life. And those patterns can be good. Those patterns can be bad. Bad as in something that's not for your highest good versus good being something that is working towards your highest good or your highest self. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, there are other options for journaling. They're all valid. It just really depends on what actually is going to resonate with you. The most important aspect is that it's something you're doing consistently. And again, 5 minutes. We all have, 3 minutes. I'll take 2 even, but just having that time, the consistency and that practice over time is what is going to make a huge difference for you. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions about it, or if you would like to share about your journaling experience, how long you've been doing it, what your method is, please share it in the comments below, because I know it can help somebody who may have a similar question or who may be going through something similar. So I will see you in the next video. I hope that this was helpful. Please share this. Give it a thumbs up, because it does help other people find this information. All right. I will see you in the next video. Bye.